Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. It's Manchester United against Fulham and I'm very excited. I hope you are as well. It's a massive game for Manchester United and we must win it. And of course, the exciting news is that Omari Forson starts up front for Manchester United. The rumour was out there last night. We were speaking about it on the 8 o'clock show as well. I also dropped a few hints to you, didn't I, about another injury. But I said don't be too worried about it. It's not a first teamer. But it is. It's still disappointing. Johnny. Oh no, he's there. Johnny Evans is there. I was told that Johnny Evans might not be there. He is there, so that wasn't accurate anyway. So I'm glad I didn't send anybody into a meltdown because the bench is Biinda, Evans, Kamwala, Ahmad, Amrabat, Collier, Ericsson, McTominay, and Anthony. And again, look, we're going to talk about Forson starting for Manchester United, but Collier on the bench as well. If I get mixed up with the youngsters here, I believe we brought him in from Brighton. Again, very talented player. So, yeah, look, another young player on the bench that we've not seen before and another young player starting for Manchester United. I find it absolutely incredible that we are in a position at United where we've got a media, an element of a media and an element of the fan base that want to remove this manager. And yet you look at that starting lineup today and you've got Kobe Mainoo, Forson and Garnacho all from the academy starting for Manchester United in a must-win game. I know, and Rashford's from the academy, by the way, as well. That's got Rashford up front. I don't know whether Rashford's playing up front or not. You know, maybe Forson will play off the left. I think Forson might go down the middle to be with you. May the force be with you, says Michael. Very good one there. So yeah, I think it's really interesting to see how it plays out. But look, I just can't speak on the negativity, and I don't want to speak on the negativity. I want this to be a win today. I think it's a really important match for Manchester United. This would be 5 Premier League wins in a row, and we certainly need it to be that. Look, some people would say, well, why is Ahmad not playing? I think Ahmad will get his chance. You know, Anthony will probably thinking, why? What? I mean, look, I believe Ahmad will get his chance, but also I think that Anthony's got to be looking at that as an £80 million player. And you know what? Ten Hag gets a lot of criticism for Anthony, but he's not picking him. He's not forcing him into the team when he needs to win. He's basically saying, well, you know, maybe you're not performing as well as you should be at the moment, and I'm gonna go with the team that I want. Scott McTominay scored a lot of goals. He's not starting, is he? You know, I think we've seen managers in the past who would start McTominay and Anthony because it's their guys. Whereas I think Ten Hag, he will pick the team that's the best team. I mean, look, there's some people that don't like Bruno. There's some people that don't like Rashford. There's some people that don't like Casemiro. But he picks the best team. And I think that's the way to go. And Marvin says Forson should not be starting ahead of Anthony or Ahmad. Well, I think he should. And I find it a lot more exciting that Ten Hag has always said that he will only pick players that are better than what he's got. And I will say to you, Marvin, and I will say to anybody else, the reason that Forson is starting this game is because he's playing better in training than Ahmad and Anthony. It's a fact. Ten Hag will not throw out youth starters just because we're Manchester United. He won't do that. He will certainly only pick players if they're performing well. So yeah, I think it's really exciting that we're going to see Forson start today. Let's have a quick look at the Fulham team. I mean, look, they're not great away from home. If you didn't see the preview, where the hell were you? You know, don't just be a fair weather fan. But if you didn't see the preview, you won't know that Fulham are second bottom of the league. Not in real life, but their away form, they're second bottom. They don't travel well. They're a little bit like my dog. But yeah, it doesn't travel well, throws up. But Fulham don't travel well, they don't score and they don't get many points. Leno Castagnier, actually I'll put this on the screen for you. I'll put it on the bloody screen for you. I will. I'm excited today, I hope you are as well. Oh, I forgot to tell you, look at our new design. T-shirt, you can get it. United Stand Shopify. Bit of the old heavy metal theme. Rasmus there with his guitar, of course. Not playing today, but you know what? I've been wearing the Martinez one. even though he's out injured. And I don't want us to forget Erasmus either. So, yeah, get yours now. Links in the description or United Stand Shopify. But as you can see, Leno, Castagnier, Tosin, Bassi, Robinson. I like Robinson. I think he's a very good left back, actually. Reed and Lukic, Wilson, Pereira, Iwobi, and Munez Carvalho up front. Now, interestingly enough, straight away, I think that this is a game that, regardless of changes, I'm going to go with a 2-0 win. I think that's what I've been saying. I think I'll go with a 2-0 win for Manchester United. But of course, again, one thing that we never really spoke about in the chat was that Palhinha for Fulham is not playing, and arguably, who would you say is Fulham's best player? I think it's him or Robinson. I think they're their two best players. So no Palhinha for Fulham, and we've got to be fair here. We can all moan about no Rasmus, but for them, that's a big player for them to lose as well. So, I think we've got to win this game. I'm up for it. I feel excited. I feel exuberant. I feel positive. And I know not everyone in the chat does, and you're all welcome. That's the way we've been doing it for years. But I just hope that some of my enthusiasm and excitement can rub off on you this Saturday afternoon. And I hope United can go and get a really good win. And then tonight, match of the day, or whatever, however you watch it, or whatever you're doing, then you can just feel positive. And I'd love Forson to score, but I'd like, it doesn't really matter. I think Garnacho has a big game today. I think Garnacho always seems to play well against Fulham. I've got a funny feeling Garnacho plays well today. And, Rashford, of course. I'd love Bruno to have a big game. It's well overdue. So, yeah, loads and loads and loads of potential positives. But defensively, if we're going to be honest, defensively, it could be a bit of a problem for Manchester United today. We don't have a left back. He's opted for Lindelof at left back, which is interesting. Certainly interesting. I think that for me, I went with Amrabat, didn't I? I would like to have seen Amrabat playing in this game, left back, because I think it just gives us a little bit more going forward. Whereas Lindelof, he's not, for a start, Lindelof is a right-footed centre-back. He's not a left-footed. The severity of the job that Lindelof's got to do it cannot be understated. I think Lindelof struggles as a left-sided centre-back. To have him at left-back is a weak point for Manchester United. And I look at the Fulham right winger is Wilson, which to be honest isn't too bad. But if we were up against, I don't know, I'm trying to think, up against Mo Salah, it becomes a very, very difficult job to do, doesn't it? We'll also be keeping an eye as well. Don't forget, we will be keeping an eye on the Aston Villa game. They're playing at home to Nottingham Forest, who we play in the Cup on Wednesday night. You'd expect Villa at home to win that, but the big prize in the league table today is going to be the opportunity to level up with Spurs, who obviously aren't playing this weekend because of the Carabao Cup, which they're not in, but I think they were meant to be playing Chelsea. So real opportunity for United here to put some big pressure onto Spurs, psychologically level up with them. And you never know. You never know with Villa. But I think Villa win, and obviously I think we've got to win. DJ says, I think that Lindelof is going to be fine. Horn 3 has gifted 5 memberships, is a legend of the chat. And also Ali Matar has gifted 10 memberships. Absolute legends. Get your badge in the chat, courtesy of Horn and Ali. Matt says, hey Mark, last week I called you a moron. I just wanted to write and apologise. I was wrong to do that and I'm sorry. The road back has been so long. Matt, don't worry about it. You're a better person for the apology. Thank you very much. Did I call you anything? That's always the thing I think. Maguire is not still banned. It's still it should be still absolutely fine. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Maguire's there. Yeah, Maguire. Somebody figured out that the word Maguire had been blocked in the live chat, probably because he was getting a load of shit at some point. So we took it out there for protection reasons. But he's certainly getting a lot of positivity at the moment. So you're back in, Harry. Welcome to the chat. Also, just we're 20 minutes out from kickoff here. Big game for Manchester United, of course. But United Standers, please do subscribe to the channel because we're only 200 away from 824,000. So please do subscribe. Get involved with the United Stands. Everybody's welcome. The biggest and best Manchester United fan community in the world. We're in America in the summer again. Looking forward to that. I'm hoping I get to go over this year as well. It's all about fitting things in. I've got a few things going on this summer at the Euros and quite a big project for me as well. So I'm hopeful I'll still be able to do that. But very excited about the things to come on that road to 2 million. Make sure you subscribe. Click bottom right hand corner and subscribe. We are live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m, 2 o'clock normally as well. Watch along. Match reaction, you vote on the player ratings into the fan forum. And of course, before my watch along, we've got the countdown to kickoff, which I absolutely love to listen to while I'm setting things up for myself. So get involved with the channel. The matchday experience is on the United Stand and we love it and we love having you with us. So please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I've just realised there's not an 8 o'clock show tonight because I'll be doing That's Football with Arsenal Newcastle, so looking forward to that. So you can join me on there for that. Right, let's get back to the chat. I don't know. I'm wondering if I can get you just some quotes from Erik ten Hag because I'm very interested by the stats that we have here. And don't forget, you can download the OneFootball app for free. Links in the description, or by scanning the QR code. Get all your latest breaking football news with the OneFootball app. I mention it because there's a lot of 3 o'clock games today, and you can get your goal alerts on there, all your latest news, plus your stats. We have a stats section, which I'll show you now. But you can get individual stats on the OneFootball app. So download it for free, Apple and Android. Links in the description, or scan the QR code. Obviously, that will be populated once the game starts. It can't populate itself before. So yeah, looking at that United side, it's interesting because it's got Rashford playing down the middle. I was told that that's not the case. I was told that Forson's playing down the middle. And I'm quite a big fan of that, if that is the case. And I'll tell you why. I'm quite a big fan of the feeling that you keep Rashford on the left, because one change is one change, but one change can become 3 changes. And what I mean by that is you can bring one player into the team and it makes one change to the team. You can bring one player into the team and it can make 3 changes to the team. So what I mean is you could bring in, let's say you bring Forson in, you put him on the left, you put Rashford up front. That's Rashford moving position and a new left winger in Forson. Whereas if you keep Rashford on the left, you keep Garnacho on the right, and you put Forson in, it's like it's 1 for 1. So I sort of see the advantage of playing Forson down the middle. Having said that, I also see why he might put Rashford down the middle because he's more experienced against, experienced Premier League centre-backs. So, but as we know, I think Rashford works better off the left. So it'd be interesting to see what he does with that. Round pegs in round holes, says Rich as well. It'd be interesting to see how he does that. But I can only say this. I'm absolutely ecstatic that Forson is starting. I'm really excited that Collier's on the bench as well. Harry Amas not involved. He played for the under-18s this morning. But look, it's massive. It's absolutely huge. This is another young player from the academy starting for Manchester United. I don't get the negativity. I really, really don't. You've got James Ducker and all those journalists having a pop at Ten Hag last night about not selling Martial when Martial can't be sold. He won't go. Would you rather have, Malen in on loan playing up front for Man United, or would you rather have a youngster coming through the academy being given a chance? Now, some of you will say Malen. I would rather this situation. I think this is who we are. This is what we do. If we're building for the future, then you put these players in. And I'll tell you for free, I hope he bloody scores. Because if he does score, I will ram that clip right up the arse of all those journalists that were trying to undermine us last night. I don't think they should get to celebrate today if Forson scores. I don't think they should. I don't think you should be going, oh yeah, well done. Doubters, get in the fucking bin. Supporters, should be the ones who enjoy it, and I'm loving it at the moment. Hi Mark, how's life going? Says Infinity Plus One. I'm good, mate. Hope you're good as well. I'm really, really, really. I'm very positive about Manchester United at the moment, and you know, if you've been watching this channel for any period of time, it's not always been positive. I've said many a time, I don't think we've hit the bottom of the barrel, and for the first time in a long time, I actually do feel that we might be on the way to something. You know, never say never, and United have an amazing way of pulling the rug from under your feet. But I genuinely do feel something, because momentum is about results. Momentum is also about structure, and momentum is about the age of the team. And we've got so many players that are knocking on the door of the team that are young. Got so many players that are in the team that are young, and we've got an ability to go into a transfer market and buy better younger players. I think there's a vision for Man United. We're not Arsenal, Liverpool or Man City, but we've struggled to be fourth. We need to lock down fourth and then progress. And I'm excited about it. Billy says, looks like a bright day. I hope United remembers to change the settings to overcast before the game starts. Yeah, Billy, I missed that yesterday. I can't wait to get back, actually. It will be back next Friday. Philip Sutton has just gifted 5 memberships. You're an absolute legend, Philip. Hope you're doing well. Lee says, how about us Ten Hag out to support the club and not the manager? We're allowed to do that without backing the manager. How does that work then, Lee? How does that even work? How do you support the club and want it to win but want the manager to go? It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in the world. So you're celebrating Man United playing well and winning games, but you want the manager to go. Can you hear your hypocrisy? I don't even. How does that work? Tell the truth, Lee. Deep down, you want Fulham to get a result, so you can say, I told you so about Ten Hag. I've never heard such nonsense in all my life. Oh, yeah, I support the team and I really enjoy us winning, but I want the manager to go. Why? Why do you want the manager to go if you're enjoying us winning and supporting the team? Come on. It's more stupid in the written word. It's great Forson getting some experience, great exposure for him and a great opportunity, says Dale. You know, the thing about Forson for me is that I don't actually know. Well, I do know. I've seen him. We saw him on the tour. But the thing about Forson for me is that a little bit like Rashford and a little bit like McTominay, he's not one of the names that people have said he's going to be a future Man United player. Like, there are players at the moment that I think people expect to be future Man United players. Lacey, you know, we've had Gore come through, Garnacho, Mainu, of course. There are a few others. But I think with Forson, these ones are almost more exciting because they're not touted to come through. But these type of players, it's not that they're not going to come through, but nobody's giving them a load of buzz. Oh, they're going to be the next Messi. And this happened with Rashford. And then, you know, I know people have a problem with Rashford, but when he broke through, it was so exciting. And we thought we had an amazing player. And to be fair, for a young player, has Rashford failed? No, he bloody well hasn't. He's scored a lot of goals for Man United. So it's exciting when you look. This is what we do. This is who we are. This is what Manchester United is. I mean, I remember the first young player I really remember. Actually, the first young players I remember coming through was probably Lee Sharp. The name Russell Beardsmore comes to mind for some reason, but I don't know whether we bought him or whether he was from the youth setup. And also, we bought Lee Sharp from Torquay, so he wasn't a youth development player. I mean, I can chuck names at you, but I do remember Russell Beardsmore. I can't remember his name. I can picture him. He was a striker. It wasn't Mark Robbins. But Giggs is obviously the first one that you really think about. And it's just who we are. It's so exciting when you get players coming in that are from the youth setup. I don't know whether it's just me, but it feels better than signing a player. You know, when you've got a young player that's cost you nothing, and it's not the cost, actually, that's not fair. When you get a young player coming in, and Liverpool have seen it with Trent, and they've got this Bradley coming through, and they've got other ones coming through, and Arsenal have got it with Saka. When you bring a player into your team that's from your youth setup, there's just something about it that just makes you feel more proud and happy about it, because you've created it. And look, I love Rasmus, and we've bought some brilliant players over the years. Ronaldo came in from Sporting Lisbon, of course, even though he was young. Rooney came in from Everton, and they are young players, and they almost feel like academy players because you buy them so young. But you can't beat the feeling of a player that comes through. And, you know, I was watching TV last night with Seb, and I was watching these clips of United goals. where Schmeichel kicks it to the wing and Giggs gets it in his own box. And the commentator says it's like a Porsche versus a Ferrari, because not a Porsche. It's like a mini Metro against a Ferrari. And the pace of Giggs, and he whips this cross in, and on the bounce, Mark Hughes whacks it in on the back post. And I was just like, oh, this is what we were for so many years. This is just an amazingly exciting team, and that's what we want to get back to. Amir Ibrahimovic going to be our next superstar. I've murdered that name, Freddie, but I know who you mean about. I thought you were talking about someone from 20 years ago. Why didn't we put Ahmad through the middle as a false nine, says Arendam? Because you're not the manager. I don't want to be blunt to you, but you're not the manager. Erik ten Hag is. That's why. Vikas says failure was Janusai, and Daniel Lee says should a tough left back be brought in to get at least some exposure? Lindelof just worries me at left back. A youth, I think he said. Daniel Lee. What does this mean for Anthony? Cost a bit. Writing on the wall, says Ali. And get that win, draw or lose poll out, please, says Cameron. I think we're on a higher level to that as a community. Actually, we don't need to put win, lose or draw out for a Man United game at home to Fulham. It's a landslide. Everyone's going to say Man United win. Angel Gomez says Ricardo. Mark, would you be surprised if we challenge the title next season? Arsenal suddenly put in a challenge. I think the same could happen, says Jay. I think we always want it to happen, but I don't think it's really something we should be expecting to happen. It's not easy for Man United to go and do that. But, you know, I think even Sir Jim Radcliffe has said 3 years. Looks like a bright day, says Billy. Hope United remembers to change the settle. Done that one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mario Franco says, had to create another account because of a Pratt. United. Thank you very much. And Skinner says, Mark, Lee Sharp signed from my hometown club, Torquay. We went into administration on Wednesday. You should invest in it. Great opportunity, says Skinner. Well, my local team that I do stuff with is Solihull Moors, and they're only down the road. The problem with Torquay is it'd take me all bloody day to get there. But I hope that there are people in the area that do care about that football club that keep it in business. Yeah. Zayn Miasi's in the chat. We will bounce back versus Porto. Don't worry, Mark. I'm not worried, Zayn. I'm not worried at all. I think you will actually as well. And actually, if I'm being completely blunt, as a Manchester United fan, we do need you to bounce back against Porto, because if we want 5th place, then we do need the English clubs to do well in Europe. I don't know whether that's clicked into everybody as well yet, but we do actually do. We do. Don't we do. I predict a force and double on debut, says Vikas. Thank you very much. Zane's back in the house, says Cohen. He is. Mark Rudebridge, says Robert. What have I done now? And Man United have always been a youth development club, whether youth academy or through buying small clubs, says Phone. Well, we are the only football club in the Premier League. I think we're the only football club in England that's had a youth player on its bench since the 1930s. I don't think anyone comes anywhere near that. Bob says, from BN managed by Goldbridge to being coached by the great Wenger, I show speed has completed life, but who's the better manager, Mark, says Bob. I'd love to have been involved in that yesterday, actually. It looked like a great event. One thing I would have done is that I subbed him off for that tackle on Kaka. Disgusting. I don't care whether Kaka's retired or not. He wouldn't get away with that in my team. So I think we all know that I'm the better coach than Wenger, because he wouldn't have got away with that. I'd have pulled him off straight away, and that's not what I mean. You know what I mean? I meant like I'd in a footballing sense, he'd have been subbed. It was a disgusting tackle, and that would not happen in a Goldbridge ball team, which shows that, you know, I'm more about purism and football. Anyway, Mark Hughes was a youth team player at United, but people forget because he left for Barca, then came back, says Glennie. Yeah, a little bit before I remember Hughes more when he came back, but yeah. Hi, Mark. Can you please shout out Jiv, my little brother from South Africa, says Vishal. There we go. Lovely message. And Zane's just gifted a membership. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nobody forgets that about Hughes. He played loads of games for United before he went to Barcelona, says Richard Davies. I don't know what it's interesting with Mark Hughes, isn't it? I think Mark Hughes has I don't know. I've never met him. And he was a brilliant, brilliant player for Manchester United. But I sense a resentment. I think Roy Keane had it for a bit as well. It's almost like when you leave United, there's it can go one of two ways. And I think there is a little bit of resentment from Hughes. I mean, obviously he managed Man City, played for Chelsea, but he was a brilliant player. And the volleys, oh yeah, just magnificent stuff. Magnificent. The perfect day today would be Man United winning by a lot of goals and Villa drawing or losing at home to Nottingham Forest. I don't see it. I think Villa win their game, so we've got to go and win ours. Big up Ten Hag, says Ireland. Big up the Rasmus shirt. Big up the like button. You know the rules, and if you don't know the rules, you know the rules, says Ireland. Yeah, loving the new T-shirt design. If you want to get it, we've got it released today on the United Stand Shopify. Bit of a heavy metal vibe. You know, we saw Rasmus doing that last time, so our designers come up with that. Love that. Hi, Mark. Can you say Moddy is a prat, says Vikas. Thank you very much for that. Richard makes a really good point. He says, you haven't mentioned Onana for a long time. And actually, he says that's a good thing. And you know what? You're right. It's absolutely fantastic that we haven't mentioned Onana for a long time, because the fact that we haven't mentioned him for a long time means he's doing a good job. And I do think that there was that period of time with Onana where he was costing us goals. And if we're honest, in relation to Europe, he was costing us games. I don't know whether we are past all those Onana mistakes, but I hope we are, because we really need, we don't need any mistakes. We've been on a good run recently, and we don't need any mistakes. So hopefully that will continue for Manchester United. Let me have a quick look here. Sorry. Not interested in that. Thank you very much. I was trying to just get a few of Ten Hag's quotes, because I'm sure he's been speaking before the game, as he always does. Players are currently in the tunnel, apparently. Eric Ten Hag had this to say: I think the good mood is because the team is winning. We're on a good run. Of course, we have some setbacks because of injuries, and now we have to see how strong the squad is. We did not always respond well to that, but we have to do better. And now we have the chance and opportunity to show this. Home crowd's got to be absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Every player has his own identity, and we're filling positions in his own way, but I think we still be a threat. I think you can see how the opponents adapts. They know we have a lot of speed in the front. We can be very creative there. On Forson, he came in twice against Newport and against Wolves. Against Wolves, he had a very good moment where he was decisive in making the goal for Kobe Mainoo. He deserves to play, and of course, now he has to show it. And I think that's the big thing for me when it comes to Ten Hag. Obviously, I'm Ten Hag in. And you get stupid people who start saying you must be on the payroll. You're not on the payroll. You're just somebody that's consistent in their support. And I think with Ten Hag, because I like him, and actually if I didn't like him, you still analyse it, don't you? You know, people who don't like him will pick up on these things. But the thing about Ten Hag I like is the fact that deserve is the word. And he has always said that the young players will only start for Manchester United if they deserve to start for Manchester United. So if Ahmad's not starting and Anthony's not starting, it's because Forson is better at this moment in time. And everybody who's saying free Ahmad, I don't think you listen to things. If I'm being polite, I don't think you listen to what Ten Hag says. He spoke about Ahmad in the embargoed section, and he said Ahmad is an option as well as he comes back from injury. And I've said this a few times, he's had a long injury. I don't think Ahmad's back. I don't think he's fully ready to start games for Man United at the moment. And it's the second time I've heard Ten Hag say, you know, we've got Ahmad in the squad as well. He's come back from injury. And I just think that with Ahmad, he likes him, otherwise he would have loaned him. There was plenty of interest in Ahmad, and he didn't loan him despite not using him at all because he's been injured. Pellistri got loaned. So Ahmad is still an important player. I just think it's about getting to a point where he's fully fit. And look, Ahmad could have a big part to play in this game. I just bought an authentic Rasmus Højlund home jersey, says Merck. Well done. Love from South Africa. You coming our side soon, says Ryan. I'd love to. I've got a very busy year ahead of me, hopefully, but I would love to get over there. Hi, Mark. How are you, pal, and the family? Glory, glory, Man United. And Højlund is an absolute beast, says Man United fan for life. I'm good. I hope yours are as well. Mark, it's my birthday. Come on, United, says Jacob. Happy birthday. Hope it goes well. I just saw Michael Oliver, and I'm worried, says Ken Drew. And Mark, can you wish my brother Hayden and Fergus a happy birthday? brothers, Hayden and Fergus, must be twins. Maybe not. Could have just been a lucky, thing. Flynn, happy birthday to Hayden and Fergus. I've been watching since 250k subs. Go, 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 you legends, says Daniel. And hi, Mark. Can you please shout out Kem, my little brother from Mauritius. Yeah, I'm not going to shout the other bit out, Riz. And what do we expect from our new foursome, says Bjorn. Well, I don't know. Adama Traore could be up against Lindelof in the second half, says Robert McCormack. Yeah, that would worry me. Ireland to win in the rugby and United to win too, says Darren. Yeah, big shout out to the Hairy Lemon. That's not a euphemism or anything like that. That is the name of a pub in Ireland that I know will be in Dublin, Ireland, that will be absolutely rammed. If there's one place I'd rather be this afternoon if I was watching sport, it would be the Hairy Lemon. And I don't even like Ireland. Well, I like Ireland, but I'm English, so I'm not bothered about Ireland winning. The atmosphere in that pub would just be great. So big up the Hairy Lemon. Hi, Mark. Can you say Moddy is a proud done that as well? Thanks for all the super chats that are coming in, by the way. You can do that through the $. Make sure that you do. I've just realised something as well. Let me get the timer ready here. United, we're about ready to go. Oh, shit. What am I doing? Referees are out to kick it off. And let me get this one done as well. Yeah, big game for United. Big game. Darren Maguire says the Hairy Lemon is overrated. Well, that's up to you, Darren, isn't it? We obviously like and dislike different things. I'd hate to meet your missus if you think the Hairy Lemon's overrated. Right, go Man United. Support from James and Chi from Birmingham. Love your show, Mark, and love the top. Yeah, don't forget you can get that. It's out now. And let's hope we get some heavy metal football from Manchester United. Buzzing for Forson. Youth is what it's all about, says Sean O'Rourke. Eric Ten Hag in. Sceptical of Lindelof at left back. Mrs. Oliver did a great job on Mikey's hair today. Apparently, Michael Oliver is the manager, is the referee then, which is interesting. The first thing I'm trying to tell you is I think that Garnacho's playing on the left, Forson's playing on the right, and Rashford's playing up front. So we've changed our front three, basically. So it's not one change. We've got a new right back, a new left winger, and a new striker. So we've changed the complete front three. Yeah, it's interesting. We need to express ourselves though, because Mainu's just lost the ball in quite a dangerous position. Fulham are on the attack at the moment. My girlfriend threw up in the Hairy Lemon a few weeks ago, says Ben. Too much to drink. Andre's 40th birthday, all we're wishing for is a Manchester United win, says Andre. We will keep you up to date on other scorelines as well. Villa are playing Forest, Brighton are playing Everton. Bit of a sandwich, actually. Bit of a sandwich, because Brighton are behind us and Villa are above us. And I'm sure we'll be fine, but potentially, you know, Brighton could close up on us and Villa could move further away if we don't win. So big win for Manchester United required. Crystal Palace against Burnley, don't care. Does Mason Mount even exist, says Mark Dowd. I swear I don't remember him playing for United at all. Yeah, it's not worked that. Oh, Forson's late there. I think he's going to get booked. This is a very Hannibal Mabry moment for Forson there. He slid in very, very late on the Fulham player. And when the ball goes out, I think he gets a yellow card. I'll be stunned if he doesn't. No, he's not. He's not. He's played on. Fair play to Michael Oliver there. Fair play. He was very, very late. Yeah, Mark was talking about Mason Mount. Thanks very much for the super chat, Mark. Look, I think Mason Mount is a player that we wish we had fit, but where he fits in, I don't know where he fits in. You know, even with the injury problems we got, where you can't put him at left back and you can't put him up front, and I don't want him on the wing, and I don't want him playing where Mainu is. So I don't actually know where Mason. People say, "Where's Mason Mount? Where's Mason Mount?" Well, even if he was fit, I think he's on the bench. I don't really know where. Well, he's Bruno's replacement, but we know that won't happen. As Giga says. Very lucky not to get a yellow card for Forson there. He was late. He was late. But not given. And you know what I saw the other day, actually? It's got nothing to do with the match, but saw it the other day that, what's his name? Fred Elliott from... United, not for Fred Elliott from United. Fred Elliott from Coronation Street died the other day. I thought he died years ago. Yeah. Good day, Mark. How are you going? Could you give us some details on Forsen? Says James. What details do you want? Enjoy Ryan says, I liked what Sir Jim had to say. Mark, it's better. Thank you very much for your super chat. And Ashley, I say Ashley. That's right, Devils 58 Red, yeah. Don says, first minute and Mainu's pace has been exposed. He's 18 years of age, mate. Like, he's not the finished article. I said this before. I felt that... I did feel that against... who was it? Aston Villa. I think Mainu had a very difficult game. But those are the games where he learns. Man United for life. Thank you very much for the gifted membership. And Cliff Nutt, thank you very much for your super chat as well. Appreciate it. Fulham, Aston Villa are winning already. Ollie Watkins, I think, has scored after 5 minutes. Yep, Leon Bailey assisted. Aston Villa 1-0 up already. So I don't think today's the day that Villa drop points. And Arna's right out of his goal here, but he's done well. Done well. I'd applaud that. Everybody, well, the kick's a bit shit, but out of his goal, good control, clears the danger. Yeah, Ollie Watkins has made it 1-0 to Villa in the first 5 minutes. I've got him in my FPL. I've forgotten to do my fucking FPL. I can't believe it's the first time in weeks I've forgotten to do my Fantasy Premier League. And it's a shame because I was doing quite well. It's my birthday today. Wishing for a United win, says Sergio. Look, I don't know much about Forsen. I really don't. I don't know what style of footballer he is. I don't know. I know he's 20 in the summer, so he's not as young as a Mainu or as a Garnacho. But in relation to coming into the team, I mean, Garnacho came in at, 18? Mainu came in at 18, so he's coming in as a 19-and-a-half-year-old. So, but it'd be interesting to see. Kevin transferred Rasmus into his FPL. I mean, I was just about thinking about doing it, but obviously I wouldn't do now. I am doing Arsenal versus Newcastle later on. Yes, Riley, 8 o'clock kickoff. Oh, it is still... I mean, look, Flopper, you don't have to be in the United first team at 18 to have a career. I mean, 19 is still very young. And players develop at different paces, don't they? Despicable says, Fred Elliott always repeated himself twice on Coronation Street, so he probably died twice as well. I say he probably died twice. Yeah, I thought he was dead in real life years ago, so well done to him. He lived a lot longer than I thought. If that doesn't make sense. Why is Ahmad not getting any game time, says Luca? I think because he's still recovering from injury. You're not playing very well, says Min. Rashford's just won a free kick there. What current United player do you think will be there the longest, says Spilt? That's a good question for the chat. Who do you think out of the current squad will be here the longest? You'd have to say probably Mainu, maybe Rasmus. Yeah. Could be Delo, says a few people in the chat as well. The thing about Mainu is I don't see Mainu. Mainu only goes to 2 places. He either falls off and isn't as good as we thought and goes to someone like Everton, or he excels and goes to somewhere like Real Madrid. But you would hope he just excels and stays at Manchester United. Bad pass by Casemiro there. Bit of a slow start here from Man United, but not a slow start for Villa. As I said, 1-0 up inside 10 minutes. Ollie Watkins has scored there. Big up, Mark, says Manny. Just wanted to say you handled yourself very well against Gabby. You bought stats, you went petty, fair play. Mate, you know what? I did that interview on Thursday morning and I left it. I did it, I left it, and I was like, whatever. And I never thought anything about it. And the amount of people who've messaged me about it saying they were bang out of order, childish, playground bullies, etc. And I'm just like, I didn't actually feel that at the time. But maybe that's because, you know, I'm just not intimidated by that type of conversation. It's, you know, I found it quite easy to deal with, but I appreciate the support, obviously. I think Onana will be at the club for years, says Julian Pickering. And thank you very much for that super chat, Manny. United have started off quite reserved. I think my interpretation of United in the first few minutes is very, very disjointed team. But you know what? It was always going to be an adjustment with no Rasmus anyway. I mean, I think people watch football in a very FIFA career mode type of way. Rashford's used to playing on the left, he's up front. Garnacho's used to playing on the right, he's on the left. And Forson's making his debut really on the right. And Rasmus makes his play completely different to Rashford. I mean, I think Rashford's playing on the right at the moment, so it's going to take a bit of time to settle, and there's no doubt about it that Fulham are doing quite well at the moment. But you know, I still think it baffles me how, you know, you've got people who went to university and get a blue tick as a journalist. I don't think that gives them any insight into how to play football. I really don't think they have a clue most of the time. But I expect better from some of our fans, and I don't know what they're expecting to happen. We've got a right-sided centre-back playing at left-back. We don't have a natural striker. The balance is not going to be perfect, and it's the constant changes that do make that causes a problem. I think if you had Martinez playing where Maguire is, and you had Luke Shaw playing where Lindelof is, and you had Rasmus on the pitch, you'd see a very different Manchester United. We've had 10 minutes here. It's not been great, but it's not surprising to me. I'm not surprised. I mean, Saud says this is pathetic. Well, I don't think it is. I think it's predictable. I don't think it's pathetic. If football was so obviously easy that you can just lose key players and play brilliantly, then why is Pep dominating world football? You know, good coaching needs good players, and we are imbalanced. Today's about winning the game. I don't really care how we get to that point. Hi, Mark. My son was born 3 days ago. Hope United can get a result for him today, says Ryan. It's not going to be easy, Ryan. You know, it's not going to be easy. I mean, from the start to this game, you can just tell it's not going to be an easy game. Beth's exclusive with Paul Hurst was excellent, says DeMark. It was. Big up that. 7-inch Destroyer says, I love Eric. Come on, United. And Mike Thomas says, all these wanting Ten Hag out because of not playing attacking football, the mic will quickly drop for them if you ask who since Sir Alex Ferguson has actually tried to play attacking football. All. Answer, none, says Mike Thomas. Thank you very much, Mike. Very, very good point. Well, just perfectly timed. Infinity and beyond, no style of play. Where's our style of play been for 10 years then, mate? You act like it's not an issue at the club that needs solving. We're never going to have a style of play until we get rid of the players that don't belong here. Lovely play by Forson here, though. I love the little link-up play balls. And very, very unlucky there. That little one-touch football there from Forson. I love that. I really do. But Fulham could be in. And a shot wide from Iwobi. Just shows you how dangerously they can break. Curtis Chappell, thank you very much. And that was a 50-50. That was an aerial duel Varane didn't win. Mark, do you remember your GCSE A-level grades? If yes, what were they? I love your videos. Keep it up. Nothing but love to you and your family, says Ange. I didn't do very well in mine. I didn't do A-levels. I left school after GCSEs. Jay says, these first 10 minutes have proven why Shaw and Martinez are such important players for us, especially with playing out from the back. Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. People want a style of play, and we haven't got the players to do it. You know, we haven't got a John Stones. We haven't got a Saliba. We haven't got those type of players to do it. We haven't got a Van Dijk. We haven't got the ability to play out from the back, especially on the left-hand side. It's going to be, I said it in the preview, it's going to be a hard graft today. And if we can score the first goal, great. Got a corner. Could be Harry Maguire's day today. Could be Harry Maguire's day today. And EB says, I'm ready to sub in McTominay. I did say Scott McTominay could be a big game in a game like this. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this game's in the last 5 minutes and we haven't got the winner, but we're attacking the Stretford end. Devon, welcome to the Members Club. But the most important thing is, from a tactical point of view, is to stay in the game. Because if this game is 0-0 with 10 minutes to go, we're attacking the Stretford end and Fulham will bed in. They will. They'll bed in. I really want to see a Bruno good game. Devon Higgs, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. We need some big performances from Bruno and Rashford today. We really do. Sek says the chat is disgusting. Why are we giving stick to Forson on his debut? Mate, ignore them. A lot of people come onto our chat because their own football clubs have crap content. So I know loads of people who support other clubs who watch the United Stand because we're such a good community. So not everybody in the comments is a Man United fan. They'll be slagging Forson off. They'll be slagging Ten Hag off. They're not all United fans. We get and people are welcome. It's a free world, but we get a lot of people who just like what we do as a community, but they're not United fans. So just ignore it. Don't worry about it. And you know what? I think it makes better conversation anyway. Corner to Fulham now. Palm says, do you think Forson should be playing up front? Look, I back the manager, as you know, but I don't call out. I don't back him. I don't back him blindly. I do remember the Forest game where he took Mainu off and brought McTominay on. I thought it was madness, absolute madness. Samuel, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Get your badge in, legend. Corner here for Fulham. We've got that away from Bruno, which is always a deep sigh of relief. But look, I'm not the manager. The manager gets the praise if we win. The manager gets the criticism if we don't. And it's about winning at this stage of the season. I would have played Garnacho on the right. I think that the imbalance of the front three is too much. You know, you're asking Garnacho to do a different... I mean, Garnacho prefers to play on the left, but you're asking him to do a different job. He's got a relationship with Delot. We've broken that up. Rashford is playing up front. He's not used to that. Iwobi's just had a great chance there. He should score. Should score. Really should score. Yeah, Mainu, you know what? Mainu looks a little bit off at the moment. They're running off Mainu a lot. I saw somebody say it about 5 minutes ago. And they are running off Mainu quite a lot. And Anana probably has that covered because it's such a shit shot. But you'd expect Iwobi to do a lot better. No Rasmus, no win, says Graham. Taylor, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. I don't agree that Varane is old. He's less than a year older than John Stones and years younger than Van Dijk. He has a lot to offer in a title push, says Shay. It's fitness, isn't it? Right, here we go. Got a bit of ball for Forson here on the right wing. What's he all about? He's heavy touch. Mainu needs some help here. He's on his own. Yeah, but as I was saying before, Delo and Garnacho have a relationship. We've broken that up to put Garnacho on the left-hand side. Forson and Delo don't have a relationship. Obviously, Garnacho and Lindelof don't have a relationship, and Rashford doesn't like playing up front. So I think we've just changed the front three too much. If I was Ten Hag, I would have said, well, put Rashford up front and put Forson on the left, because Garnacho and Delo have a relationship, and we've broken them all up. Lindelof just played a shit pass, by the way. We do need to settle here. It's been a bad 20 minutes from United. But it's 0-0. It's about the win. It's about those 3 points on the board. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. We're only 100 away from 824,000. So click that button while you're here and subscribe. Get involved with the United stand. United having a little bit of a, slow start to the game. How many times have we said that over the last 10 years? But it's another corner for United here. People getting very stressed in the chat about the way that we're playing. Couldn't give a shit. Couldn't give a shit, actually. Not bothered. It's about winning. I've watched Man United for many, many years. And I completely and utterly appreciate the fact that it's not been a good start, but also appreciate the fact that the talent, the balance of that team is bloody dreadful. And it's about, oh, dear, dear, dear. This is a break for Fulham. This could be a problem. Bruno looks like he's running through cement. They're on the break again. Another corner. Rashford sort of got mugged off there, didn't he? Bottled it, says Robert Lund. Yeah, they break away and it comes to the edge of the box. And Rashford just doesn't fancy the 50-50 at all. Oh my God. Another big chance. I think Onana gets on it and it goes for another corner. United are hanging on here. It's a good save by Onana, to be fair. Headed down and walking on thin ice, says Macaque. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Delo was there as well, but it almost dropped. Mark, how can some fans expect Ten Hag to get players bought by 3 or 4 defensive managers to play attacking football? They aren't here because they attack, says Dorian. And Harry Maguire slows down the tempo too much, says Louis. Taylor, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. Well, as I say, I don't really know. I don't know what it. I don't know what it. I suppose I'm quite fortunate that I do watch football on quite a deep level, and I think a lot of you do as well. And what we have to remember is that some people watch football on a very basic level. And they turn it on and they just want to be entertained. They don't actually look at the detail of the game. They don't actually look at things like, if Haaland played for Liverpool, he wouldn't actually suit the way that they play. When I look at a starting 11, I can tell you before the game kicks off how the game's going to go. When I see a United team with a back four like that, I know we're not going to play a high line. I know we're not going to pass out well from the back, which I know will then impact our midfield. And when I look at that front three, I know it's not going to be fluid because then they're all out of position. So I straight away looked at that lineup and I go, yeah, this is going to be a battle today. And it's about trying to grind out a result and grow into the game. And lo and behold, it's been a tough first 20 minutes. But we're just very static. Lindelof at left centre-back's left back's a joke. But what I do agree with the chat, Goldio says, what are your thoughts on Bruno playing so high? I just don't... at what point are we going to get a good performance from Bruno Fernandes? At what point are we going to get a good performance from Marcus Rashford? I think they've been okay in recent weeks, but they're the big play. Rasmus is 21, just. Martinez has only been at the club a year. They are really important players for us, but Rashford and Bruno should be offering a lot more. Who was a better player, Micah Richards or Gary Neville, says Dan. Are you having a bloody laugh? Even Micah Richards would admit it's Gary Neville. Come on. Look, Micah Richards is a very good pundit, but as a player, he didn't get anywhere near what he could have been. Mark, this is horrible. You keep saying it's a battle, but our players should be beating and dominating Fulham. Should they? Hussein, how long have you been monitoring the Premier League then? Because last time I checked, Fulham are a decent Premier League side. Who was a better... I've done that one. Thoughts on Bruno playing so high? Thank you very much, Goldio. Are you okay with Forson instead of Ahmad? It's frustrating, says Sheriff. But you don't train the team, mate. You don't know. That's just a hit and hope pass by Bruno, that. Fucking hell. We've got a break there. And he's tried to find Garnacho with the sort of pass even Paul Scholes wouldn't make it. It's just a hit and hope pass. That's a stupid ball. Keep the possession. Yeah, going back to Ahmad, I just think that maybe he's not fully fit. Some good play there, but just not the pace. I don't think we can win big competitions with Rashford or Bruno. That being said, why is Bruno so good for Portugal but so bad for us? Says Goldio. And if Rashford and Bruno can't perform during a Champions League run with an injury crisis and they don't perform in these games, how can we trust them going forward? Says Tobias. That should be a yellow card for the Fulham player there. He's pulled him. Yeah, it is a yellow card. We just want a free kick here. I don't watch Portugal, so I don't know whether Bruno's good for them. KFJ says, people complaining about Ahmad have played too much career mode. It isn't that simple to just pick and choose players for the starting 11. Yeah, I haven't answered that question. I think in relation to relation to Ahmad, I don't personally... I don't have the answer, but my theory is that he's just coming back from injury and it's about, you know, getting his fitness levels up and... Go on, Harry. Oh, he should have had a shot. Garnacho. Shoot. Oh... Fucking hell. Harry! Oh, penalty! Late, FIFA foul. Bollocks, wanker. Oh, well, probably Man United's best chance of the game, and it was very, very scrappy, but it didn't actually fall for us. Maguire making a menace of himself. Garnacho getting a shot off, which I actually think might have been going in. It beat the keeper. No, it probably was going wide, to be fair. It's just bouncing around. Has Malacia been sold or just vanished, says Liam. Well, yeah, he's injured. Only one goal in the Premier League so far, by the way. I think that Garnacho shot was going in. Robinson, I think, headed it away. Only one goal in the Premier League so far, and it's Villa winning 1-0 at home to Nottingham Forest. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe. We're only 50 away from 824,000. Good play by Delo. Not the best clearance, though. I mean, he had an opportunity to get rid of that. And Lindelof does fantastically well on the back post, to be fair. Bloody hell. Sketchy. It's sketchy from United at the moment. Another corner. What are the stats like? They've had 5 shots to our 1, 2 shots on target to our none, and this is their 4th corner. What are your thoughts on Mount's longevity at the club, says Monash? I mean, the thing is, Mason Mount's missed nearly a year of football, and he's in his mid-20s. People go, oh, when he's back. As I said, people were saying, when Martinez and Shaw and Casemiro are back, we'll be fine. And then they get injured again, 2 of them. So this whole when somebody's back, sometimes somebody can be injury prone. Like, you know, you look at the You look at Martinez. People say, when we get Martinez back, what if Martinez continually gets injured? Bruno's getting a lot of stick at the moment. Oh, for fuck's sake. Ah, he's bad. Bruno needs a rest, says David. We're missing a focal point up front, says Kizza. See, I think Bruno plays the wrong pass there. It's the, you know what? Even I'm starting to get pissed off with it now. It's the fucking killer ball all the time. He gets the ball in a good position there. He's got two runners. He's got Garnacho and Rashford. The Rashford pass isn't on. Either pass it to Garnacho or move with the ball. He gets the ball, bang. I've said it. You know what? The amount of arguments I've had with people and they don't get it. There is no way in a million years Bruno Fernandes starts for Liverpool or Man City or Arsenal. Never. Never would he. And not just now, ever. They won't start him because Pep Guardiola would go fucking mad with a pass like that. He'd said, you've got space and you've got a better pass and you're going for the Hollywood quarterback Hail Mary every bloody time. Like, just keep the fucking ball. We're not playing well. Keep the fucking ball and stop going for this ridiculous pass every time. I like Bruno. He's playing bloody terrible. But even when he plays well, he's not a conservative number 10. You look at someone like Odegaard, he looks after the ball. You look at De Bruyne, he looks after the ball. He picks his moments. Bruno, every pass is just trying to hit that pass all the time. People say we're a long ball team. People say we're not a possession team. I don't think we can be a possession team with a number 10 like that. Have a shot, Delo. Oh, he's hit the foot of the post as well. Not bad. Not bad. Goldio says Bruno doesn't start for any top half club. And how long has Rashi played for United and how many good seasons has he had? Time to sell, says Cliff. Well, somebody said to me this week, and I'll throw this in there. Somebody said to me, do you think Rashford actually wants Ten Hag to do well? Do you actually think that Rashford's, doing okay on purpose? Because he can definitely play a lot better, but he'd like to see a change of the manager so he can become, a bigger player again, because Ten Hag's been a bit strict with him. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I expect better from Rashford and Bruno. There's Garnacho on the left. Who was that? Mainu. Corner. But you know what? For all the moaning, you see someone like Casemiro there. This is why Casemiro is so important to this team. He's there with Mainu, giving him a tap on the back. Let's keep going. Rashford's been very quiet in this game, actually. Villa are 2-0 up, by the way. Easy 3 points for them. They're not messing about. Douglas Luiz scoring their second goal, so they're not messing about there. Maguire overlapping wasn't on my bingo card, says Matt. There's a Wobie. Post. Fucking hell. Fulham have just hit the post. Is that guy, Muniz? Scored a lot of goals recently. I mean, the way Lindelof gets turned here is embarrassing. He would be absolutely rinsed there. Lindelof. And to be fair to Onana, you're not saving them. Predators. Side of the post. Anil says, Bruno's scope of work seems to be just kick the ball forward when he gets it. And Maz says, Mount's been hit by the number 7 curse. Get your comments in. Thanks for the super chats that are coming in as well. Chris says this benefits himself and hurts the team. It'll look way better for his comps and stats, but he's giving the opposition possession 30 times a game. David Beckham used to play long balls as well as crossing, says Umzil. Is there a point to that? I don't know what the point is, so I'll just leave it. Fulham should be 3-0 up, says Jonathan. I don't know what game you're watching. I think Fulham have been better, but I don't know where the 3-0 up comes from. I mean, they've had opportunities. Oh my fucking Christ! What are we doing? It's the gruesome twosome again. Bruno and Rashford, ball over the top. One of them should control it. They both fuck it up. I mean, this is onside. It's a lovely ball by Casemiro. They're in one-on-one. One of you take control of it. You can't waste opportunities like that. It's fucking rubbish, mate. That's a lovely ball by Casemiro, and either Rashford or Bruno can control that, and they're in one-on-one. Fucking, what's going on at the moment? I don't get it. I'm baffled. Bruno wasteful by forcing it. Simplify and drop back, says Kicking It with Cade. Maybe we need Mount instead of Bruno. I mean, look, Sheriff, the Mount injury is just incredible, isn't it? I'm sure even Ten Hag looks at it and goes, oh, I think Maguire might be getting a yellow card here as well. Yeah, he's going to get a yellow card for that. Definitely. I mean, hopefully they're not going to review it. Some people in the chat saying they might review it. Actually like Maguire's passing tonight, says Benny. Nah, it's not a red. It's not a red. It's not a red. Oh, fucking hell. Could be a red. Burnley have had a red card, by the way. Benny says, actually liking Maguire's passing tonight, says Benny. Bruno's been wasteful by forcing it. 150 million for that twosome and we run far away. The fact that this lad's stayed down worries me a little bit. Corner. Just be wary here. I need some facts here. There's been a lot of these tackles. It shouldn't be a red. No, it shouldn't be a red. Shouldn't be a red. You're wrong. Because it shouldn't be a red. Because remember, Gusto didn't get one a few weeks ago. So it shouldn't be a red. No. Shouldn't be a red. There was another one as well. Gusto didn't get one. Somebody else did it last weekend as well. So, I think it might have been a red pre-Christmas. But, yeah. Should have been a red, says Danny on the gas. Could have broke his ankle. And you know the rules. Big ups to Scooby-Doo. 90th minute winner, says Jack. I tell you what, if we got someone sent off, we're not winning this game. Lindelof's getting bullied. Clear out the deadwood, says Nate. And 150 million for that too. So when we run far away, says Trevor. I think he's talking about Bruno and Rashford, who have been disappointing again. Runners need that telepathy with Bruno like Beck, says Umzi. I think it was a red before Christmas. But we've seen Gusto, actually, funnily enough, I think it was against Fulham. Similar sort of tackle, didn't get a red. So, but it's the inconsistency of the PGMOL, isn't it? That's a bad pass, but Mainu could be a goal. Oh, Rashford. Why has he not hit that first time? Or dived. He could have dived or hit it first time. Get Evans in. He's left-footed and Varane goes right, says Mario Franco. Oh, Casemiro caught in possession here. This could be a big problem for Man United. Good save, Anana, another corner. Our team has enough experience and quality in this game to not play this bad. Where are the leaders? Ten Hag said this is a cup final, says Tobias. And Arna's had a good game. Fingertips as well. A lot of players getting a lot of stick out there, but here's a better question. Who actually has played well for United? Onana? I think that's it. Maybe Delo. We're missing Rasmus for a hold-up play, says Kizza. Well, I'm just looking at the bench, and I don't see a massive change on the bench. I mean, McTominay. I don't know whether this game suits McTominay because we're not getting in the box. We're not creating chances. I mean, Amrabat maybe at left back. Onana, man of the match, says Dale. Come on, United, I love you. Rhiannon, says Punch Paint. There you go, Rhiannon. Apparently it's 3-0 to Villa. It is 3-0 to Villa, and it's Douglas Luiz again. Shows you how big that win was at Villa Park for us a couple of weeks ago. But it means nothing if we can't win this. Onana looks like he's dropped some weight, says Ash G. There's Garnacho on the wing. He'll shoot. Oh, goes for a corner. I told you. I said it in the preview. I said it before the game. I think Garnacho's the key man in this game. I think he's our most consistent performer. I think if you're looking for a player of the year so far, it would have to be Garnacho in a disappointing season. I think he's the one again. He's the only one who seems to get it, isn't he? He's the only one who seems to get it. How's Forson doing, says Jamie. Look, he's a young lad thrown in. Jim Ross, thank you. Welcome to the Members Club. He's not really in the game, is how I would describe it. Another shit cross by Bruno, that is. Absolute shite. And then Lindelof, well done, Garnacho, for keeping it in. You know what it is? You know what annoys me the most? It's the lack of attention and care on the ball that annoys me. We're set up like this because we don't have Rasmus in the box. Our wingers are introverted today. It's a choice because we have Rashford up front, says Kizza. 4 minutes to go to half-time. Well, Villa have definitely won their game, 3-0. Burnley have had a man sent off against Palace. Still 0-0 between Brighton and Everton. And obviously it's 0-0 here. I haven't had a chance to say this yet, but I'm going to say it before it happens. Again, with Manchester United, I think it comes down to who scores first. If Fulham were to score first in this game, there's no indication that we're going to score two. So I think the first goal becomes absolutely crucial in this game today. And if I was a Spurs fan watching, I'd be thinking, you know what? You never know. We should sell Rashford, says Parker. He works in a counter-attack setup. He's got nothing to offer but pace. Nothing else, says Parker. Forson hit that quite well, but it's a good block. We've got to be very careful of the Fulham counter. Well done, Casemiro. I tell you what, it's going to be. I tell you what, though, watching this, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough at the Etihad next week. Really tough. If Bruno and Rashford are playing like this, really tough. Really, really tough. Garnacho's played well. I think Garnacho's played well. Yeah, we've got Man City a week tomorrow. We've got Forest in the Cup on Wednesday. I mean, you know, in that game, who knows, really. I don't think Forest are particularly good. Rashford shooting from distance. Nice ball out by Anana. Would Scott work as a striker, says Sniff? The problem is we're not really getting in the box and he's not mobile. So I think McTominay works well when you're getting a lot of box ball. But in a game like this, we're not really getting a lot of box ball. So I don't know whether he works that well, to be fair. But I'd certainly be looking at I'd certainly be looking at some subs. I just don't know. I don't know what we've got on the bench. I mean, Anthony, I wouldn't be throwing him on. Ahmad, is he ready? McTominay's a certain type of player. Eriksen's probably a little bit slow. I mean, the bench ain't great in attacking way. Villa are 4-0 up now. Are they? No. I haven't seen a goal for Villa, a fourth goal for Villa. I've still got 3-0. Here's a nice ball out to Garnacho. Cross is not going to be good enough. We need half time. We do need half time. He's got to look at this tactically because it's been hard. There was a very, very good comment in there. I don't know whether I'll get it in before half time. About look at the space we're giving up. The gap between the attack line and the defensive line is massive. And we've seen this a lot with United. I remember it happening at Leicester with Ollie, where the gap between the attack and the defence was massive, and Leicester just destroyed us. The reason it happens is because we've got a deep line. We have to play a deep line with the defence that we've got, because we've got Lindelof and Maguire there. We can't push high up the line because we're too vulnerable. So you end up with this big gap between the defensive line and the attack, which leaves a lot of space. When you see Martinez and Shaw in the team, we narrow it. You can get after. We can't really press with that defensive line. It has to sit deep. But it has been the game I expected it to be, and I think anybody who expected it any different, I think there's a level of naivety there. I always knew this game was going to be like this. Eriksen, Amrabat, and Camboire on, I think, says Manish. Well, he might have to look at Maguire. He's on a yellow card. It is half time. 0-0. Half time. Half time thoughts, everybody. Let me know. I mean, what my thoughts are. It's half time. It's 0-0. And the main thing is to try and get out of this game with a result. We still have the opportunity to do that. Surprise, surprise. We are struggling. And I'm not surprised by that. Sarcasm. I'm not surprised that we're struggling. I mean, to be fair, 50-50 possession is probably better than I would have thought. 8 shots each, 2 shots to 3, 4 corners to 6, 91% pass accuracy to 89. I mean, that's a lot higher pass accuracy than I would have thought. I mean, those stats are actually quite kind to United. I mean, I would have been thinking more possession, better pass accuracy from Fulham, really. But maybe I'm just very Bruno-centric on that. I mean, the amount of misplaced passes we've seen in good positions from Bruno is ridiculous. And I do want to start off with Bruno because I'm a massive fan of Bruno Fernandes. And well, funnily enough, here's a chat from Alejandro. He says, Bruno's a disgrace on the ball. The captain of Man United has no care for the ball and possession whatsoever. No wonder we create no chances. And Jay says, apart from a slow start, I'm happy to see Casemiro back to normal. Tom Ball, welcome to the Members Club. Scrap a win versus City, then lose to Deitch, says Goldio. And Bruno is so average, I'd sell him in the summer, says Theo. And we should sell Rashford as well, says Parker. United playing into the Stretford end in the second half will score. Bruno or Garnacho to score, says Rozzo. And I Am Jacka says, it's been very entertaining. I see us okay, to be honest. Delo and Garnacho are going great. And Nana with the save. I'm sad that Bruno seems lost. Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about Bruno because I think that, look, I've always been a big fan of Bruno. You'll remember when we were buying him, I was very excited. The summer before we got him, I thought we'd messed it up. But I can only be honest, and without, you know, the nonsense that you hear from some people's vile mouths about, you know, making it personal and calling people names ridiculous. He's very disappointing at the moment. Against Wolves, very, very good result. Bruno didn't play that well. Against West Ham, very good result, didn't play that well. Against Villa, very good result, didn't play that well. Against Luton, very good result, didn't play that well. Half of the Fulham game, he's not playing that well. I would never. There is an issue. There is an issue. Like when Bruno Fernandes, when we've won 4 games in a row and Bruno's not had one good game, there is an issue. He's not that type of player. He can blow hot and cold, but he's blowing cold more than a bloody polar bear at the moment. It's just ridiculous how off he is. And it's funny because some people will say, well, Rashford's doing it on purpose because he wants to sack Ten Hag so he can be the star boy again, which is very speculative and unfair. But what's Bruno's excuse then? Why is Bruno not playing well? Royal says it's the hoofball from Bruno and Rashford is the problem. There was a few times in that second half where I've got to say I was massively frustrated, where Bruno got the ball and within a second of getting it, he's trying a pass that's just not on. I mean, if he does it, it's great. I mean, remember Rashford's free kick against Chelsea? I said, don't shoot, don't shoot. Shit, he's just scored one of the best free kicks I've ever seen. That was years ago. Has he done it again? No. And this is the problem with the player that does it once and then never stops doing it. You almost need to criticise the time it works, because they do it once and then that's it. They'll keep doing it again and again. But it's so bloody wasteful. If every time you get the ball in a good position, you're trying the Hollywood pass, if it only comes off 1 every 20, you're giving the ball away 19 times. Odegaard in that position would get the ball, see Garnacho and pass it to him. Or he'd see the space in front of him and he'd move into it. Bruno sees the space in front of him, sees Garnacho, and tries a mission impossible pass to Rashford, and the ball's gone. This is a problem. This is a real problem, because in a game where we've had 50-50 and we've had 90% pass accuracy, we've also given the ball away a lot from our most important creator. I don't know what it is with Bruno, and I'm sure Ten Hag, if he had hair, he would be pulling it out, because it's so difficult to say to a player, stop playing the Hollywood pass, when that's what Bruno's game is. And I've said this before so many times, even as a massive fan of his, he would not play for Man City. He would not play for Arsenal, because they would not accommodate or put up with that. And that's one of the contributing factors. I mean, Rashford's been invisible. I don't know what his excuse is today. Again, just not. And they're both players that I'm disappointed with. I'm not angry with them. I'm disappointed with them. I like both players. But when you look at the last 4 games, the players that have won us those games are not Rashford and Bruno. If we're being completely honest, the 4-game run is not because of Rashford and Bruno. And yet they're 2 of our best players. So when are you going to contribute, lads? That's the baffling thing. They're not contributing to this run, and they bloody well should be. We shouldn't be waiting 4 games for Rashford and Bruno to deliver. They should be delivering. They have the experience and quality to deliver. Beyond those two, look, Lindelof at left back's a bloody nightmare, but what do you expect? He's a right-footed centre-back playing at left back. You know, he got spun like a bottle top. They nearly scored. He's a liability at left back. But if you put Amrabat at left back, he's probably a liability as well. We don't have a left back. Centre-backs, done okay. Casemiro, I mean, look, some people want Casemiro to go. Some people don't. I don't. I think he's been very important. There's been a few misplaced passes, but I still think he's been important. Mainu is having a difficult game, but weirdly, he'll learn more from the difficult games than from the good games. Forson looks like a youngster, been thrown in, to be fair. And Garnacho and Dalot, I think, have been probably our 2 best players outfield. They actually seem to get it. Of the two, of every outfield player out there, it looks to me like Dalot and Garnacho are the 2 players that actually get it. What I'm hoping for in the second half is that we see a development in the in the play attacking the Stretford end. This is going to be about who scores first. If they score first, the best we'll get is a draw. If we score first, then I really think we can get the win. It's on a knife edge. It really is. I look at the bench and you know what? Obviously, Scott McTominay is a very obvious substitute to make. I said that in the preview. I wouldn't be surprised if he came on and won it for us. Collier and Camboire, you'd very much doubt they'll come on. Johnny Evans is only coming on if we get an injury or he's a bit worried about the yellow card. And then that leaves you with Anthony, Ahmad, Eriksson and Amrabat. Well, Eriksson can only come on for Bruno, and that will never happen. Anthony or Ahmad will probably come on for Forson, to be honest. And it might not be a bad idea to do that sooner rather than later. Not because Forson's played badly, just because it's not really the sort of game for him, I don't think. And I think you could change that for somebody a little bit more experienced and it could make a big difference. Amrabat might be somebody that you want to bring in at left back, but he's made his choice there, hasn't he? Our first 40 minutes, our press in the front did not work, and huge distance between the attack and the defence, as Pierre-Eric Classen. Well, we were talking about this in the game, and this is not unique to Ten Hag. It happened with Jose, and it certainly happened with Ollie. When you're playing Lindelof and Maguire, and obviously they were playing centre-back for Ollie, but when you play Lindelof and Maguire, they are not quick. And Lindelof's playing at left-back. So what is happening with United is that down that left-hand side, if you have Martinez and Shaw, the line will get pushed up because they can both move. They're quick. Martinez isn't super quick, but he's quick enough. Maguire and Lindelof are not quick. So Maguire's worried about his lack of pace, and he's also worried about Lindelof's lack of pace. So they're dropping. The defensive line is dropping. On the flip side, we're the home team, and we're expected to attack. So we're trying to attack as the home team, but we've got a defensive line that has to drop. So you get this massive gap between the attack and the defence, which is where Fulham are able to ping passes around. It's happened to us for many years. It's a tactical problem. And as a coach, there's not really a lot you can do about it because you do have to drop your defensive line when you've got Lindelof and Maguire in it on that left-hand side. Because if you don't, they're in. So you've got to drop your defensive line. And the only other thing you can do is basically pull everybody back so you compact. But then you're parking the bus at Old Trafford. So you've got to try and go on the front foot. But you have got a defensive line that's got to play deep. And it leaves this massive void. And people who don't understand tactics and are going, Fulham are passing through us, it's embarrassing. They also don't understand what it is like to coach a team with limited options because you can't play a high line. Now, when we played at Wolves and we were away from home, we played that high line and we were very compact between the defence and the attack. And Wolves found it very difficult in that first hour to play through us because we were so compact and high up the pitch. But we can't do that. We simply can't do that at the moment because we'll get exploited in behind. So therefore, we're trying to attack, we're trying to press, But if they play through that press, there's a massive gap. And Mainu and Casemiro, because Bruno's basically playing as a fucking support striker, get overwhelmed again. So it really, you know what? I'm sure there's people who understand, and I'm sure there's people who are frustrated. And I get that. From my point of view, I just think this is a bit like flipping a coin. Today, to me, was never going to be 4 or 5-0. We're not set up to do that. We don't have the players to do that. For me, this is about, can we do enough to get 3 points? Because it could be a draw, it could be a loss, and it could be a win. But if we get the win, that's all I care about. Because I'll just go, well, we had no Rasmus, we had no Martinez, we had no Shaw. We've got nobody else who can play up front. And Bruno's bang out of form. Rashford's bang out of form. I'll take the win. But, you know, every game's a cup final, but because every game's a cup final, some people think we're going to play like brilliant football. A cup final can be when you're an underdog. Now, we're not an underdog, but this is a bloody cup final for us. We've got to find a way of winning it. Unfortunately, he feels similar to McTominay at the moment. If McTominay doesn't score, it's nothing. If Bruno's Hollywood passes don't work, he scores a 4 rating every match, says Jason. Chris Weller, welcome to Members Club. Bruno plays for any team in the Premier League. He doesn't play in this manner for Portugal. With better players, he can adapt if the manager demands it, says Lino. I've never heard such shit in all my life, Lino. So now it's Ten Hag's fault and the players' fault that Bruno Fernandes got no discipline and keeps whacking the ball. Come on. I'm a big fan of Bruno, but that's agenda. You can't have an agenda. Like, if your favourite player's playing badly, don't defend them. Like, you have to call it out. I love Bruno Fernandes. I think he's a great player, but he hasn't been great for a while, and it's baffling. But the only person who's responsible for giving the ball away consistently is Bruno Fernandes. He's the one who, when he gets the ball, decides to boot it 40 yards to nobody. And let's not forget, there was a brilliant opportunity in that half. Remember when Casemiro bends that ball in behind the defensive line? Both Bruno and Rashford are one-on-one. Neither of them control it. And it's just hands in the air. And I'm like, that's a fucking great opportunity. It'll get forgotten, but that was a great opportunity. Jack says, Bruno's been getting back and putting in tackles and bringing in the ball back up the field. He's not putting up his numbers, but he's not being bad, says Jack. Don't like how Marcus's body language is, says Ruben. Well, look, Bruno's had a lot of stick in the chat, but, you know, to be fair, Rashford's not been very good either. Foxy says, I'm fed up with Rashford. Walks around the pitch like his shit don't stink. Not a team player, and the whole team suffers for it. Cash in. Cliff, thank you for gifting 5 memberships, mate. Absolute legend. Let's have a look what else people are saying. Welcome to the Members Club, Chris. Bruno needs to get subbed off, says Stefan. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know whether I would sub Bruno off, because there's a very good point about the fact that he never stops running and he does put tackles in. Obviously, Eriksen's not going to run around like that. I mean, if Mason Mount was on the bench, I think you've got a case. But the problem is, you take Bruno off, you know, who comes on for him that's going to be able to do that amount of running? Do you think sending Reguilon back is a mistake, says Grim? Oh, 100%. 100%. You know, it's 100% a mistake. Ten Hag didn't want it to happen. Your brain tells your eyes what to see, hence why you're fixated on seeing his mistakes than his benefits. Our manager can set up a team, but our number 10 making risky passes is the problem, says T. And he'll throw Scooby-Doo on to save us now, says Nate. I don't care, mate. I'm really not bothered about how we perform at the moment. I just want to win. I'm not. It's low priority for me. I've watched football for so many years. I've seen so many lineups, and this current United team cannot play good football. It's impossible. If this team could play football, we wouldn't even have Martinez and Shaw and Rasmus at the club. Like, we don't have a team out there that can play the football that people think we can. You can't play high line, through the back, high press, intricate little passing with that team. This is going to be a graft. I'd get the ball to Garnacho as much as possible. Stuart Walker says, the same fans that when he got first signed said he takes no risks, now he does and he's an issue. He runs more than any player on the pitch also, says Stuart. Well, nice to see some protection of Bruno as well, because I do like him, but I'm not going to pretend that he's not fell off massively in the last few games. Sell Bruno by Verts. I love Bruno, but his time's up, says AK. Unfortunately, he feels similar. I've done that one from Jason as well. Right, we're about ready to go for the second half. I'm going to miss this timer, aren't I? Okay, let's get ready. Make sure you smash a like on the video, by the way, and please do subscribe. We're very close to 824,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Player ratings in the second half. Fan forum and match reaction as well. Get involved. You're very, very welcome. Can United get this must-needed win today? I don't care how we do it. Michael Oliver can score the winner as far as I'm concerned. But can we get it done at Old Trafford in this second half? Let's hope so. United, no changes at half-time. Hazard says, if we put McTominay at cam, we'll win 9-0. And Eduardo says, this is a perfect example of how much we need Rasmus. He never stops pressuring and holds the ball very well. Can't be bothered. Rashford can't be bothered, says Eduardo. And Maguire off, Lindelof move over. Anthony left back, says Sean. Oh my, what is this Anthony left back? Nonsense. Mario Franco says, Bruno never rests. He always puts his body on the line. 3 a.m. in Melbourne to watch this crap, says Angelo. Casemiro's just gone down. I think he's all right, though. Diallo in for Rashford, says Anthony. It's pissing it down with rain, by the way. Oh, Maguire can't commit himself there. This is the problem on a yellow card. Another corner. We're giving up a lot of fucking corners today, haven't we? 7, that is now. Just by the way, it wasn't 4-0 to Aston Villa. It's 3-1 to Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest did get a goal back just before half-time. Niakate, 3-1 there. Of course, we're playing them on Wednesday in the Cup, away from home. Sam, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. I'll tell you what. I don't know what your thoughts are on this. Here's one to run by you. Remember when we played Brentford and they should have beat us and they're winning 1-0 and then in the last 5 minutes they just parked the bus and we scored 2 goals? I'm actually thinking, I don't want this to happen, but oh, Varane's limping now. Can't afford this. Can't afford another injury at the back. I was thinking, if Varane goes off, we're fucked. We can't play with bloody Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire at centre-back and Victor Lindelof at left-back. You know, I don't care whether you're 10 ARG in or you're 10 ARG out. You can't blame that on the bloody manager. He looked... I don't know. But what I was thinking is if Fulham did get a goal, they might head clash between Casemiro and the Fulham player. Nice comment from Mahad. He says Anana's passing has been elite. Big up the VAR. Every supporter in the world knows the rules, says Havard. Sam Aimson, thank you very much for joining the Members Club. Rolando says stand up. Yeah, if you like the new design, by the way, just dropped today on United Stand Shopify. Just checking it out. I think Casemiro's going to be okay. It was a head clash, but get your stretch in, says Sec. Well, a little bit of a break here. But, yeah, I suppose a lot of people are talking about what changes we could make. Hopefully Varane's going to be okay. Scott McTominay's warming up. I mean, surely not. I mean, I'd never even thought that Casemiro might have to come off with this, but if Casemiro came off, we've literally lost Luke Shaw, Martinez and Casemiro again. What do you think of Anana's distribution lately? Says Chun. This season he could have had a couple of assists if we could have been clinical enough. His distribution's always going to be, that's what we bought him for. My issue with Anana has not really been his distribution. I know it's not been as good as it could have been, but my issue with Anana has been his, his positional sense in saving shots. Thoughts on Amrabat at left back, says Ambat. Well, I put him in there in the preview. I think for Casemiro, it might be a bleed. I don't think it's a concussion. I think it might be a bleed. Yeah, McTominay's coming on. Birthday celebrations have kept me today. How have you played? Says Sam. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Casemiro. And their players playing on. I think Eriksen and McTominay are coming on here. It took Forsen off after 7 minutes. Oh, it's better. I mean, I understand the Casemiro one because it's an injury one, but the Forsen one, was there any point bringing him out for the second half? Oh, it'd be interesting to see what happens here now. Just tuned in. How we playing to Skids? It's not been great. Amrabat looks like expert barber from Grand. Says Colin. Thoughts on Amrabat left back, says Ambat. I mean, I put him in left back in my preview, but when we get our players back, says 960 show. I know. That's my whole point. To be fair to Ten Hag, he said when we get the players back, you'll see a better team. We got the players back. We saw a better team, and now the same players are all injured again. Fucking hell. Well, Eriksen will drop in next to... Bruno's gone right wing. Fucking hell. Mustafa's right. Thomas Hopley says you forgot about the sub windows. Yeah, I suppose you've got to use it when you use it, haven't you? But we could we have not said that was a concussion injury? I don't know. Bruno on the... Oh, the fucking passing today. I tell you what. What's that fucking shit from Eriksen as well? If you're going to put Bruno on the wing, take him off. Like, if we're putting him on the right wing, you may as well take him off. Wonder if reason we get injuries is because we play and train at high intensity, but our health department isn't equipped to provide the required recovery, says Abhishek. I guarantee it's something that Ineos are going to look into. This highlights lack of squad depth. Ten Hag has no option but to overplay certain players. Definitely not the football we played in the last 5 games. Anticipating big transfer window. Ten Hag needs backing, says Steph talks Manchester United. When Mount is back, he's versatile, so that'll help, says Tom. If I hear when somebody's back again, I'm going to scream. I mean, those words are jinx words. When everybody's back, they're never going to be fucking back, are they? We've had more. I mean, we've got to be talking more injuries now in the second half of the season than we did in the first. Martinez, Luke Shaw, Højlund, Casemiro, Wan-Bissaka. I mean, that's 5 we've had already, and it's only mid-February. Well, later February now. And I've probably missed somebody as well. Martial, 6. At least Varane's moving around okay. I'll take a draw at this point, says Nick P. We look horrible top to bottom. The drop down when we're missing a few players is frightening, says Nick P. I won't take a draw, mate. I think at the moment, Fulham haven't done enough to win it. We've not done enough to lose it. Hang in there and try and get a goal. I love the Højlund merch, says HC. Have you tested the new Højlund hemorrhoid cream, says HC. And Fulham are on the break now. This should be a goal for Fulham. It's massive, massive. And well done, Lindelof on the back post. They should have scored there. They had about a 6v3. I think Fulham are going to win this. I do. I'm not stupid. I think they're going to win this. It's one-way traffic. When Phil Jones is back, we'll be fine, says Paul. Sorry, couldn't resist. Keep up the good work, Mark. Corey says, Bruno on the right. What is Ten Hag doing? Fast forward the game, says Cody. But he'll never take Bruno off. I don't know what people expect. Bruno's on the wing because he'll never get taken off. He can literally put in whatever performance he wants and he never gets subbed. Rashford's in the same, almost in the same place as well. I'd forgot Rashford was even playing. We need more depth. The concept of all our players being back doesn't exist. Klopp's best 11 only played together once, says Ambert. And Sir Jim Radcliffe has Eric Ten Hag's number. He ain't stupid. Moments manager with no style of play. Oh, here we go. Mate, you're on the wrong channel. Go and find the one who's toxic because I'm not even talking about it. Life's too bloody short for me to spend time talking to somebody that's talking about style of play and chaos. Mate, can you not see what we did against Wolves? Can you not see when we played against Villa? And can you not see the amount of injuries we've got? I mean, I've got no time for you because you're not talking intelligent football analysis. We've got no Casemiro on the pitch now. We've got no Rasmus Højlund. We've got no Martinez. We've got no Luke Shaw. You've got Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford who look like they can't be arsed. You've got Lindelof playing at left back. You've got Maguire and Varane at centre-back who just can't push the line up because they've got Lindelof at left-back. It's chaotic because the team is not good enough. If you can't look at a lineup and go, that's not a very good team, and then you expect it to be better, like, logically at some point, you've got to kick in and move your agenda against the manager and look at the reality. You can be Ten Hag out, but you can't blame him for this team that's out there. It's injuries. Like, it's pure and simple injuries. We don't have a good enough squad. It needs clearing out. 100%. Tom says, I'd like to see Ahmad come on and prove himself here, says Tom. I don't think we've had an attack in the second half. I mean, fucking Rashford again. He needs to take him off. We had a break there, and he's caused it. He's not even tracked back. He's not tracked back at all. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. That's gonna be the Luton moment again. We've got a break. He loses the ball and then he doesn't fucking track back. It's disgusting. At this point, it's fucking disgusting. We are on the thinnest of ice. We are down to the bare bones. All we've got is vibe. All we've got is effort. There is no rhythm. There can be no rhythm. This team is decimated. And you've got a player who's on that amount of money, who's meant to be the star player, and he's offering absolutely nothing. Just take him off. I'll love him to score the winner. I don't care who scores it. But at some point, you've got to say, winner or not, your overall performance is shocking and your attitude is shocking. Thinks he's Cristiano Ronaldo, says Victor. Well, look, I hope he scores the winner. We need a winner, but like it doesn't stop the fact that his overall game has been shit. He jumped out of a 50-50 in the first half. He can't be asked to track back then. That's two incidences in the same bloody game that are unacceptable. Midfield's getting overrun. Som says, so many excuses made for Ten Hag. It's injuries today. Yeah, Som, don't know whether you noticed, we won our last 4 Premier League games in a row. I don't know what excuses you're talking about. You don't need excuses when you win 4 Premier League games in a row. We're not losing here yet either. Scott McTominay, 89th minute winner, says, Brie. I've not noticed McTominay in this game, actually. I forgot he was on, hopefully. Hopefully. Five Cantona says he shouldn't have changed the number 9 from the start. The squad balance has been too disrupted. Mate, I think we've done very well to still be in this game. Very well. And not very well from performance. I just think the fact that Fulham... I don't think Fulham score many goals away from home. Rashford needs to be sold. No debate at all, says Tariq. Why isn't Ahmad on, says Mohammed. I don't care. I'm not the manager, mate. I don't know why Ahmad's not on. I do worry about this Ahmad hype, though. I mean, people act like he's fucking Lionel Messi. I hope when he does come on, he actually does do something, because if he doesn't, there's going to be a hell of a lot of fans in our fan base that are going to look fucking stupid. Because the way they go on about Ahmad, who actually hasn't played for the first team in about 2 years, and had a very good loan at Sunderland, they talk about him like he's fucking Lionel Messi. And I really hope he is, because people never shut up about him. Why aren't we using Amrabat, says Ronan? Well, I would have put Amrabat on. He's way more mobile than Eriksen. We just have to sell Rashford and Bruno. They play with too many mistakes week in, week out, says Dave King. When I heard Højlund was out, I was devastated. Turned out I was right, says Cal. This team looks to me in desperate need of something off the bench, and there's nothing on there. There's nothing on there, I don't think. I don't think there's anything on there. Ahmad Player FC's already started, says Hazard. Look, I would love Ahmad to come on and win the game. I just don't have the same amount of confidence that everyone else does that he's the answer to the problem. And I think if he was the answer to the problem, Ten Hag would use it. I hope he is. I'd certainly bring him on for fucking Rashford. But just got to try and hang in there. Goal. There it is. There it is. It was always coming. Always coming. And I don't really have a lot to say. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. But it's been coming for a long time. It's a fucking awful, 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 awful performance from United today. And I tell you what, I'm about done with Rashford and Bruno, to be honest with you. I really am. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Oh, it's just so hard to take, because we've won the last 4 games and we've given ourselves a chance. And then, you know, you go to Molineux, you go to Luton, you go to Villa, you grind out the results so that these games you get the wins. And it's just typical. Absolutely fucking typical. And look, I'm sorry, the sort of the patience runs thin with certain players like Rashford and Bruno, because you're the sort of players in these sorts of games, you get the big bucks because you're the big players. And absolutely fucking nothing from either player in 66 minutes. And if they are the future, then I worry about our future. Scooby-Doo number 9, Rashford to the wing, Bruno number 10. This is Stephen. Reality is we won't change. We need to get behind them, but some players need to be accountable. We want effort, that's all, says Harry. Reality is we won't change. We need to have done that one. Time to sell both. If Ineos is doing review, look at the wages of those two and what they offer, says Sumi. No leadership. Team morale is low, says Daniel. 23 minutes. I don't see a way back now. I mean, we haven't had. I don't think we've had a shot. I don't think we've had a shot on target. I don't think we've had a chance in the second half. But you know, people don't listen. I said Casemiro, Martinez, and Shaw are massive for this team. We've got none of them now. We had Martinez for a game and a half. We had Luke Shaw for 2, and we've had Casemiro for 3.5, and now we've got none of them. And Fulham are absolutely... What the fuck is Bruno Fernandes doing on the right wing? He is not a fucking right winger. Take him off, for God's sake. Stop keeping people on because you're scared of subbing them off. Take them off. Take fucking Rashford off and Bruno off, and you'll get the biggest cheer of the day. Take them off. They're playing shit. We've had no shots in the second half. We've had no shots in the second half. They've had 6. Corner. James Bloom, thank you very much for your super chat. Rashford walking and not going for 50-50. Seems that he just wants to stay injury-free. We'll take him off. Like, you know, it doesn't matter how good a player is. If they're not performing, you take them off. Ballsy enough to drop Ronaldo, but not Bruno or Rashford, says A11. No striker, no left-back, no CDM, and we wonder why we're so bad, says Mario Franco. What's that from Bruno again? That's a fucking shot. That's not an attempt to cross. That's a shot. What the fuck are we doing? What are we fucking doing? What's this stupid corner routine trying to score a Scholes goal against Bradford? We're shit, lads. Don't do stuff like that. Just put it in the mixer. Hi, Mark. What do you think Ineos getting a backup number 9 for Rasmus? Garnacho is not a false 9, says Ree. When it's Hoyland's, it's graveyard shift. When it's Rashford, sell him, says A. Mate, fuck off. Come on. Rashford's been playing like this for fucking months. It's got nothing to do with the graveyard shift. You know, I don't see Rasmus jumping out of tackles. I don't see Rasmus not chasing after the ball when he loses it. Come on. I like Rashford. I hope he can score a couple of goals and win it. But if you think this is anywhere near the levels required of a Man United player, he ain't putting him in. Bruno. Nah, no power on it. Ten Hag getting out, coach, says Cuban. Mark, Bruno and Rashford are destroying this team. Zizou says, Rashford's positioned as a leader within the club, always starting. Please show me the leadership he's shown this season. Thank you very much. Seeing the Eric Ten Hag out was in the chat. Sorry, the chat's moving too quick. I can't read all this. Tabib says, Harry D, thank you very much. After 19 months... Oh, shut up, Eric. If I hear the word style of play again, I'm going to lose it. What style of play do you think you're going to see with a manager that is using shitty players that won't be sold, that were bought by other managers? What style of play are you expecting with Lindelof as a left back? What style of play are you expecting when the players that we need aren't available and the players we're using should have been sold 2 or 3 years ago, most of them? Drew says, we've got Harry Maguire in the team and we won't put a cross in the box. MZ says, Bruno's playing great. Rashford, come on, pass. Why is he not? Why is he shooting from there? Fucking hell, play as a team, mate. I did say this might play into our hands, though. If Fulham score early enough, then it gives us a chance to just defend. Attack. I was done with Rashford after he went partying in Belfast. His attitude is a disgrace. No other major Premier League club would have it, says Lee. Jay says, the favouritism of Rashford and Bruno will create the end of... Oh, gee, I'm sorry about this. It's just... I don't know why it's doing this. It's so stuttery in the chat. I can't fucking read these super chats. I will try and read them. Honestly, mate, ignore the Ten Hag comments. Oh, I do, Kaz. People complained about style of play when we won versus Luton because we lost the possession battle. Now we're winning the possession battle, but we've gotten dominated most of the games, says Uncle Drew. Do you think Bruno has regressed, says Cuban? Mate, it's obvious he's regressed. Baffles me how people can say get Bruno out, says Tom George. Get Nazar on the phone now, Mark. Rashford does not care. It'd be a long drive from Australia, but I'll drive him to Paris myself, says Foxy. What on earth has happened to Rashford? Something seriously wrong, says Tom G. Look, I'm not afraid to say it. I don't think he's interested. You know, maybe the manager's upset him. Maybe he wants a move. But I don't think he's putting in a shift. I don't think he's playing anywhere near the level he can play. Fact. Leo, Garnacho is the only player with the balls. Ten Hag favouritism we've done. What do we need to improve, says Des. Better players. Dan Murphy says the wrong subs and Bruno and Rashford have been terrible. Look, no one will celebrate it more than me if Rashford scores a winner or an equaliser here, but I don't think he's going to get a very good rating in the player ratings, is he? Why can't we as a team keep it simple? One touch intricacy with players moving around, says Summy. Hardly surprising, 4 wins in a row. We play shit football nearly every game. The player's not good enough, says Lewis. I feel we need a striker who can guarantee us 15 plus goals a season, says Constantine. Honestly, sick of Rashford not tracking back after losing the ball and putting your hands up. It's disgusting, says Yad. Rashi needs another trip to Belfast, says Daryl. Needs to make a statement and sub the pair off, says Stephen. The Aladama Traore's coming on now for the break. Fucking hell. David says, squad needs an overhaul. Bruno, Rashford, medical department need investigation. Can't wait for the summer mark. This is pitiful. Wayne says, the miss of Rasmus is huge. His presence up top is huge. Was missing his closing down. Zach says, Michael Oliver's got main character energy. Oh, 100%. I'd like to say hopefully we can scam a draw, but to do that, you've got to create chances. Fulham is second from bottom, by the way, for away form this year. That's what we're up against. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 10 away from 824,000. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Oh my God, Garnacho, what is that? You know what? The passing today, we can talk about a lot of things, but the passing today has been absolutely disgusting. Disgusting lack of care in passing. Miss Rasmus, miss a good midfielder, stick with Ten Hag, needs support, says Des. Come on, Mainu. Remember, Fulham haven't got Polina as well. Again, a fucking rubbish pass by McTominay behind Ericsson on the edge of the box. It's fucking abysmal. Just absolutely abysmal. I mean, we've got players again, haven't we? Good shot by Fulham, just wide. We got players again who are just downing fucking tools on the pitch again. Absolute. Just this is what I mean about consistency. We had it with Ollie. We had it with Mourinho. We've got it with Ten Hag. We had it with Van Gaal. You just can't trust these players. You just can't trust. You know what? I think Ericsson was a waste of time to bring on as well. He ain't quick enough anymore. He ain't a box-to-box midfielder. He's a number 10. I mean, Amrabat must be fucking shit. Let's be honest. He must be fucking rubbish, Amrabat. Another corner. I'm scared of the derby next week, says the last... Oh, mate, they're going to... Even before today... And I thought we'd win today, but even for today, Man City are going to wipe their arse with us. Corner comes in. Maguire again. Fucking hell! How many times is he going to miss a bloody sitter? He's so good at winning headers and he can't direct it. It's so frustrating. He's probably the best player in the Premier League for winning headers, and he can't direct it. It's a free header 6 yards out. Ahmad's coming on for Mainu. I don't. So Bruno goes back inside. So we've moved Bruno from 10 to wing to midfield. Survival football, says Sammy. You can't put Sir Alex and Pep on as co-managers, and even they won't do anything with this pile of losers. I am doing Arsenal, Newcastle, Constantine, although after this, I really just feel like having a break from football for about 6 months. Yeah. Player ratings. I'm just going to whack in the video description. For you. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. That's going to be fun on the match reaction. I can tell you that for free. If you're a Marcus Rashford fan, I'd get out and not watch it. Mark, our woeful this season is well over now. Love the content, says Daz. Des, thank you, Des. 4-2 between Villa and Forest, and Crystal Palace are beating Burnley 3-0, and Everton are beating Brighton. I wouldn't give us any hope of going to Forest and winning in the Cup with this team. Fucking waste. My frustrations with the players, I've got to be honest. I know there is a movement about the manager, but my big frustration is with the players. I just don't know how you're meant to win any game of football when people like Bruno and Rashford are putting in performances like this. It's just never going to work. And of course, you've got to take responsibility. The manager has to take some responsibility. Of course, he does. Some of the team, some of the subs have been weird. But you don't expect Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford to be throwing in 4 out of 10s. If they throw in even a 6 out of 10, we don't play this bad. And I think players do have to take a responsibility. And look, I'm not in charge. If Ten Hag does get sacked in the summer, it terrifies me that Marcus Rashford would be given another chance. I think at some point these players need to be called out and accountable for the consistency of poor performance. It's just not good enough. But the big winners are Spurs. Win their game in hand. 6 points ahead of us. Even if we sell Rashford, why would PSG want him, says Daryl. Mark, we're going to be 8 points behind Aston Villa again. We are running out of games to claw us back. I reckon top 4 is done after today's game. What do you reckon? Says Andy. It's a massive, massive disappointment, yeah. You can't beat Villa away and then lose to Fulham at home. You can't do that. The whole point of winning that game is you'd expect to win this game. But look, he's brought Ahmad on instead of Anthony. At least the Ahmad crowd can... he hasn't got a lot of time to make any difference. Leo says, I don't think it's even redeemable for Rashford. He's done. Just another shit, lazy pass. Are people blind or stupid wanting out the manager before these crap players? Eric Ten Hag in, says KFJ. Well, you know what? I've said it so many times. If the manager gets sacked, then we won't have a clear out because the new manager will want to give everyone another chance. And I don't want some of these players having another chance. I really don't. Mark, agree with your points on Bruno and Rashford, but when you said you were finished with them, do you mean for this game or for the season? Says Jay. Well, we can't be finished with them for the season because we need them to play, but they need calling out. I mean, it's different because Bruno puts a shift in. He's just so wasteful. Whereas Rashford's wasteful and I don't see a shift. It's unfair to use them the same because Bruno never stops running, whereas Rashford barely starts running. But they're both way, way below the level required of a Manchester United footballer. Like, you know, I don't think Bruno's had a 7 out of 10 this year. I don't think he's had a 7 out of 10 performance this year. And I think Rashford's had one against... I'm sure Rashford played well in one of our games recently. Like, they're our two most important players, really. And they're letting the fans down. It's pathetic. Joey says, is the team relying too much on Rasmus? Well, I just think he's a massive miss. Jake says, why do you want to beat City next week? I'd rather City win the league over Liverpool. Because I'm a Man United fan. I want Man United to win. Sell them both. Fresh start, says Carlos. I feel for Garnacho. He's still learning his trade, but feeling like he must hit the winner. Experience must stand up, says Channelly. Yeah, I mean, and Garnacho's been kept very quiet the second half. I thought first half he had a lot of freedom, but second half they've done a good job on him, haven't they? Here's Ahmad. Maguire. Pass it. You've got no skill. Pass it, Harry. You've got no skill. Oh, he put a good cross in, though. Oh. Goal! He's offside. He's not offside! Gatton! Harry Maguire! 1-1! Seb, where are you? Seb, where are you? Seb, are you in the house? It's Harry Maguire and it's 1-1 Manchester United. Get in! Get in! Get in! He's gone down the park. What? Manchester United. Open the door. Open the door. Push the door. Harry Maguire. 1-1. Get in. Watch this. The cross comes in. Bruno. Get ready for it. You've not... Get ready. Just get ready. Bruno. Cross. Yeah, he's onside. And there he is. Bang! Back of the net. Harry Maguire. What do you think about that then? Good. Get in! He's not offside. There's no way. There's no way he's offside. They can't be giving it offside. They can't give it offside. Are they giving it? Are they giving it? I hate VAR. I hate VAR. Get in. Shut up, Leno. Come on. Well, look, we don't really deserve it. I'm going to be fair, but oh, get in. Absolutely get in. We need about 10 minutes added on now. Need about 10 minutes added on. 9 minutes! 9 minutes! Come on! Can you imagine all the Ten Hag out movement now? They're crying. They can't believe it. They're gutted. I said this though, didn't I? I said if Fulham score and there's long enough net left, they'll park the bus and that'll play into our hands. When Fulham were being expressive, we couldn't get in the game. But this is like Brentford all over again. McTominay, cut it back. For God's sake, cut it back, you greedy bastard. Why is he not? What's he shooting for? Cut it back. Oh, McTominay. Look at the cutback. Look at where Rashford is. Fucking hell. Greedy bastard. Bruno, don't shoot! Ahmad! Oh, Rashford! Rashford! Delo! Lindelof! Oh, straight at the fucking keeper. Oh, God, come on. Surely we're going to win this. Surely we're going to win it. What's wrong with Bruno? Still 7 minutes to go. Cramp. Rashford is United quality, but Sunday League mentality, says James. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We don't deserve to win this game. If we win it, you know, it's just like Makeda Villa time, isn't it? You know, we don't deserve to win it, but it's not all about that, is it? Sometimes it's just about, look, even a point's better than a loss. Of course it is, but... Oh, Ericsson. You can't be fucking losing it here, but he's won it well there. Bruno, don't shoot, mate. Well, he gets a corner. Gets a corner. Another corner. Five minutes. Fulham on the break, though. I mean, look, Fulham could get something on the break. Sage says take the draw. Never. Never. Never give in. We need the 3 points. We don't fucking deserve it, which will make it even better. But yeah, look, I'd be very, very happy with a draw from this. Brighton have scored if you give a shit. Not really. That's not going to keep that in, is he, Lindelof? No. Oh, he does. He keeps it for a throw-in. Oh, what a... It's always interesting supporting United, isn't it? Or watching United. It's always interesting. Oh, Maguire's on a yellow card here, and he's up against the Doma Traore. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Absolute. You know what? You know where this comes from as well? Eriksen. Maguire can't put the tackle in because he's on a yellow card. Unbelievable. The Ten Hag outers will be fucking celebrating with Fulham fans here. This is the state of our fan base, by the way. The Ten Hag outers will be celebrating this. They'll be loving this. They're not fucking United fans at all. They're scum. They're absolute scum. Eriksen, fucking useless. Maguire can't put the tackle in because he's on a yellow card. Bottom corner. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Eriksen's been shit since he came on. I'm sorry. Absolute shite. Absolute shite. Fulham probably did deserve it, to be fair, but not to be. Not another Brentford, unfortunately. You wonder what you do wonder what could have been if some players were fucking any good. And we're back where we were before the Maguire goal, aren't we? You know, thanks Rashford. Really, really great effort today. Fucking waste of space. Bruno's not been at it again. Eriksen's been shit since he came on. Lindelof at left back. He's wandered off as well. Injured. Another one. Anthony comes on. It's a fucking mess, mate. It's a fucking mess. Player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average, by the way. I don't think there's going to be many players that get near an average, if I'm being honest with you. Well, I'll make no apologies for supporting my team and wanting them to win. And for a few minutes there, I thought we might get away with it. But in the grand scheme of things, I think Fulham have been the better team. And I'm gutted. I'm gutted. And I will not celebrate the opposition winning to be justified in a movement to sack a manager like some of you bastards will. I'll put my hands up and say I'm gutted. But I support and love this football club, and I'll continue to do that. I don't think some of you do. I know how it works. I see the fake celebrations when we win. And the genuine joy comes in as losing. So these so-called fans can say, I told you so. That's not supporting your football club. That's not supporting your football club. Not for me. Bottom line, these players are fucking shit. They're not good enough. I put this blame on the I put this blame on the players. I put it on the players. I put it 100% on the players. If you want to put it on the manager, by all means put it on the manager. But I put it on the players. You got a guy out there on 360 grand a week. I'd rather have Postman Pat up front. At least he fucking delivers. You know, absolutely shambolic performance from some players on that pitch. In fact, let's not say some players on that pitch. Bruno Fernandes hasn't put a good performance in for about 5 games. You know, he does run around a lot. He does put an effort in. But he hasn't put a performance in for 5 games. Marcus Rashford is a fucking disgrace. An absolute disgrace to the talent that he supposedly has. Eriksen may as well retire now. I mean, that was just not quick enough. Passing was terrible. You know, you've got to question these players. You have to question these players because if it doesn't matter who the manager is, Pep Guardiola, Erik ten Hag, Neil Warnock, if people like Rashford and Bruno are putting in 4 out of 10, you're going to lose in the Premier League. It's a very competitive league. So yeah, there'll be criticism of tactics, there'll be criticism of selections, but no manager is going to win a game of football against Fulham or anybody when people like Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford are throwing in 4 out of 10 performances. It won't happen. It just will not happen. And that's not to do with tactics or anything like that. That's to do with those individuals, for some reason, they can't be asked to play for the badge on the shirt. And that's the end of the that's the end of the question. Anyway, look, get your player ratings in. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We're going to go to the match reaction almost immediately. I will see you over there, and we will digest this horrific performance.